I was just so terrified, moving to Fort Lauderdale was like a big city at the time. And then moving to LA was an even bigger city. And so I was just scared, like the clients and the people in the salon are going to be mean or snooty or...
Beauty ritual. It's a beauty ritual.
Hello, and welcome to the Beauty Ritual Podcast, the podcast that hosts conversations about age, beauty, and identity in a world where the pressure to conform rises every day. This is your dose of perfection correction. Today's guest is Kailey Hines, a third-generation hairstylist and the first in her line to become an extension specialist. Kailey, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
How are you this morning?
I'm great.
So we're going to jump right in. What inspired your move from Florida and what has come up in the transition from state to state? I know that a lot of stylists think about doing this. They talk about it on Reddit. I read about it all the time. And a lot of people are afraid to make that leap, but you did it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely terrifying, especially I worked with my mom at her salon for 11 years. That was my only salon experience. So leaving was like deeply, deeply scary. But I just kind of turned 30 and had a moment of like, am I going to live and die in this town? So I first moved 3 hours south to Fort Lauderdale. And once I did that, and I was okay, I was like, okay, I can move and lose my clientele and build another one and be okay. So it's just like a little reassurance that like, things are going to be all right. You can switch it up.
You dipped your toe in the water and then you made the big leap.
That's right.
So when you moved 3 hours away, did you lose all of your clients and have to start over? So you basically started over twice?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, twice in 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy.
No, but I admire it. And I think a lot of people do too.
Thanks. Yeah. I mean, it's scary, but it's worth it. It's like, whatever, you can do whatever you want.
It's true. We just get scared. Did your relationship to work change after relocating?
It's evolved so much over the years, I feel. But yes, it did. And I think that I've fallen more in love with it again. I don't know if out of like depending on it more in a way that I hadn't in a long time. I had become so like in the same routine. But yeah, I love it. And I've gotten so lucky every time I move. I've been so scared because, you hear about different salon cultures and sometimes it's not nice. So I was so scared, but I've been so lucky. Everywhere I've ended up has been like so beautiful and wonderful. And yeah, I mean, I think that it has changed for the better. I think I've just fallen more in love with it again.
I love hearing that because burnout is a huge issue in our industry.
Yes.
And I think that there's this sweet spot of finding what do I need to change and make new so that I don't burn out, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you have no idea what's going to happen because you could potentially fall out of love with what you're doing and want to make an even bigger change. And that's a really scary idea.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that I considered that for a while. I was just like unhappy in many ways. And it was like, what can I change? And I think then that's when the move happened. And I also got into extensions after I moved. And so it kind of sparked like a learning again and like a love for learning and in different areas, but I had just become so routined. And so finding something that was new again was great.
I feel like you answered this question. I was going to ask what your biggest surprise or challenge was in making this change. Was there anything besides, I fell in love again that surprised you?
I think that the people and the clientele and my work environment, I was just so scared because I came from a very small town and working with my mom and
that's such a safety in that
and her best friend. Yeah. So it was the three of us for, more than 10 years. And I had all my clients for, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. So I was just so terrified, moving to Fort Lauderdale was like a big city at the time. And then moving to LA was an even bigger city. And so I was just scared, like the clients and the people in the salon are going to be mean or snooty and I was so afraid of that. And I have been so surprised by, like, at every turn, everybody has been so lovely.
I honestly love that. I had no idea that people could be mean, and I totally ended up in mean spaces. No, but I learned a lot from it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it was super enjoyable, but like my naivety helped me get through it, because it was, if I had known that, like that fear, I know I have it now. I have a healthy level of discernment when it comes to going into a new space.
Yeah.
And also understanding the different levels of character.
Yeah.
And personally, I don't know if I would have gotten that if I hadn't gone through so many different levels of different cultures.
Right.
So there's pros and cons to it, right? But if you already know, you don't need to learn that lesson twice.
Yeah. Well, and I think that there's a difference between, like, I did it when I was 30.
Yes.
And I think I
was 18.
Yeah. So of course you're like, yeah, everybody's nice. Why wouldn't they be?
I watched The Devil Wears Prada when I was younger. What else? I watched Ugly Betty. So I was like, I do think some people will be mean, but like, if I have enough like charisma, like maybe I can handle it. Sure. And honestly, you need a little bit of that. You need a little bit of like, I can do it attitude.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't think ultimately it's where I would ever want to end up, is in a place where people are catty and mean.
No. I could not. I couldn't last a day.
Your color prowess is incredible. You create an incredible range of colors, from blondes to rich brunettes to just gorgeous toned reds. You've been doing so many stunning reds lately. What draws you to color as a main form of expression?
I've just always loved it. I love that it's so changeable and fixable. It's so malleable. And I was doing color since I was young. My mom, when I would have friends that would want their hair done, and all of a sudden I have like all of these friends and they all want their hair done. My mom was like, I'm not doing this. You're doing it. So it was just always like a fun experiment that I got to do with my friends. And it's just always been the thing I'm most comfortable with, because there is so much room. You can change so much within it. And it's funny though, the reds, like I have been so scared of reds my whole career, and I'll do them when I have to, but like I'm terrified of them. And then somehow moving here, I like got a couple in my pocket and word spread. And now like I have so many reds and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm a red specialist.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that you're saying it's fixable and malleable, because a lot of, especially young colorists and people starting out, can feel like it's terrifying and the stakes are way too high and that they're stuck. But what you're pointing to is something that I think every experienced colorist starts to understand, is that you are never stuck.
Never. Yeah.
As long as you don't damage that hair beyond all belief.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
that's a different subject.
There's burning the hair, but yeah, everything is fixable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just takes time sometimes.
There you go. The communication of just like explaining to someone of like, hey, it's just going to take time. But that takes a huge load off your shoulders.
Yes.
Can you walk us through your process of formulating with a client? You did a TikTok about that.
I'm sure I did. So the answer is like probably not. I feel like I try to mind meld with my client. I talk to them until I feel like we have the same image in our head. And then I take that image and I stare at the colors and I just, what's speaking to me? That's 100% true, but there's also formulation behind it. But I don't know that I could explain it. I just...
Sometimes things are more of a feeling, let's be real.
Yeah.
Sometimes you go there and like a certain numbers and letters start glowing and you're like, this one and this one.
Yeah, well, and I feel like sometimes I'm like, okay, this is what makes sense, but I don't want to do that. And I'll like pick some random stuff and I'm like, we'll see. And I'm very open about it. I'm always like, I don't know how this is going to come out. And the clients will be like, oh no, it's going to be great. And I'm like, it might not. No, I'm not kidding. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. And they're like, yeah, you always say that. I'm like, and I always don't know. But I mean, obviously there's a method to the madness, and I think I know what's going to happen. But, you know, color is funny that way too.
It really is.
You're surprised.
It's so true.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you have the relationship with the client to be able to work through those little unknown like spaces, you're fine.
Yeah, and they're far and few between, but they happen. And yeah, I don't want them to think that if it does, like we said, we can change it.
Mm-hmm.
So this isn't a panic.
I love it. This all feels like themes for life. Living in the unknown, no reason to panic. We can change it.
Yeah. If only I had that in my life.
You're the first to be doing extensions in your line of hairdressers. Yes. This is your grandmother, your mother, and now you.
That's right.
So can you walk us through what got you into hair extensions?
I would have a small interest. One of my friends who's not a hairstylist, we would experiment with them just kind of like YouTube University style, and she would do them on me and I would do them on her. It was just for the two of us. And then when I moved to South Florida, they were like a very extension heavy salon. And so they sent me to training and I kind of learned there.
So why did you jump to YouTube instead of using all the access you had?
As if I wasn't a whole hair.
As if you were in a whole hairstylist.
Because in my head, I guess I wasn't offering this as a service. And I guess my best friend did not deserve full training. I don't know. I don't know. I have done a lot of things I've done. But we just kind of were playing around. We were just seeing what we could figure out. But I wasn't really considering it like something I was offering. It was just like seeing how I could get this hair into my friend's head because she's the one who wanted it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
I'm very much a like, we'll figure it out type of gal. So I was like, we got it.
It's giving the younger generation. It's kind of like learning on TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was very much that. But I learned that it wasn't all above board.
So when you did start with your Bellamy training, how did like this seamless integration come into play? Because when you're learning hair extensions, there's so many elements of density, volume, color, blending, matching, like all of that.
I feel like I'm still learning so much because, you know, you start, and especially no shade, but, you know, it's like very much volume wefts and not the greatest textures that you're working with sometimes. So it's been so fun, especially like finding some distributors that do have different densities. Again, it's just part of like finding something new that I'm learning. And it's like each new distributor I find that has maybe a different hair texture or these single donor hair extensions that we use now that, you know, it's so customizable. And the more I'm into it, the more customizable it is. Whereas, you know, when I was first learning and it's, you know, we were just using one brand and it's just like, make it work the best you can. And now it's like, you can really like make it someone's hair.
And that is so exciting.
Yes. Oh, there's nothing better than like
texture matching.
Oh my gosh. Wow. It's the best.
When it comes to color, do you prefer to color match beforehand or on the client?
Beforehand. I'm scared to color match on the client. I've done it, but I like to be able to, it feels like maybe too much pressure when it's on the client.
Or two different formulas because it's still two, as much as you are creating this one head of hair, it's still two becoming one.
Yes, and you know, I want to be able to kind of put on my mad scientist hat and experiment and see what this is looking like. Okay, it needs to go cooler, it needs to go warmer. Sometimes extensions do wonky things. And so I don't want to do all of that experimenting on the head. Once I have a formula down, I'm more likely to do that. But when I'm getting my first color match, I like to do it by myself with a trash bag and a set of extensions and let me go to town.
She is, you know, a craftswoman.
That's right.
How would you describe your aesthetic as a stylist right now?
This is something that's always developing as well. I feel I've never been much of like a curated person. So
I think when that question comes up for me, it is an interesting one to answer because I also don't find myself to be very curated. I find myself to be a bit more bohemian in the way of just like I'm creating in the moment and like seeing what happened. But if I was an outsider looking in at what you do, I think it's very seamless.
Oh,
I think everything you do is just seamless.
wow. Thank you. That's definitely the goal always, I think, is seamlessness. I want everything to feel, like it's your hair. I am constantly, when I'm watching TV and movies and I can see like the ever slightest like separation, I'm like, oh, there's the hair extension. Like,
it takes you out of the experience. And it takes you out of the experience of watching the movie or even being with someone when you notice something out of place. And as a hairstylist, it's top priority to never have that experience.
yes. And so when I'm looking at their hair, when I'm finishing, I'm like scanning and trying to find like any small piece that I'm like, there.
Oh, yes. Honestly, it's a great skill.
Thank you. Yeah, it is.
Okay. So we have to talk about your goal about being on Survivor. When did this dream start? When did this idea come into your head?
Well, the idea first came, I had quarantined myself during COVID to an apartment. I had moved out of my house with my roommates and I was in an apartment. And there were 2 random seasons of Survivor on Netflix. And so I just like ran through those and I was like obsessed, but then I could never find them again until just a couple of months ago. And all of the seasons are on Amazon. Yeah, so I just started watching and watching and watching. And like, you know, the ADHD, like I get hyperfixated and currently Survivor. And I used to be so scared, like I couldn't scheme. Now I'm like, I could do it.
She's like, I can't be in a salon that has a mean culture, but I can.
I'm like, I'm in my 30s now. I can do it.
What do you think you'd be really good at on the show?
I think like the social game. I think I could go a long time without getting voted out because I think I'm pretty good at getting along with everyone. And I don't think I'm very threatening. Like, I'm not going to win challenges. If you know Survivor, you know. They're like, you don't want to be too good at anything. I think that's where I thrive. They'll vote you out if they think that you have a chance of winning.
What?
Don't.
You don't give that.
No.
And what do you think your biggest challenge would be?
Lying. Lying. I'm so bad at it, but I'm going to start practicing.
So you're saying you'd play a bit more of a social game versus a strategic game, or would it be a little bit of both?
No. You have to play strategic, but you know, your social game is your strategic game. So you are, you know, the whole thing is like trying to make sure that there's somebody else that they would vote out instead of you, which I think actually would be pretty hard for me. But yeah, it's just diverting energy, which I'm like, you know, we do this as hairstylists. People start getting kooky, they start getting controlling, they think they want this, and you're like, okay, let's let you have this moment, and then we're gonna drive the ship back. So, you know, that's my strategy.
Well, that's perfect, because I was going to ask if there are any parallels to being behind the chair to being on a show like Survivor?
I think so, for sure. Well, one of my friends in North Carolina, one of my best friends, her hairstylist went on Survivor and won.
Right.
Season 46, Kenzie. So yeah, I mean, I think it's all about being able to manage people's emotions, being able to like connect with people, you know, like you're on this island with them for however long. Like there is an importance in like having a connection and being somebody that people want to be around and being somebody that people feel like they can talk to and trust. You have to be able to like trust these people to a certain extent.
Okay, finally, would you be the one striking alliances or quietly observing and waiting for your moment to strike?
Okay, so creating alliances, I think, I think I would try to do pretty immediately. There's also like this old era, new era. Like once COVID happened, a few things changed, and I'm like very much old era, which would not serve me very well. But like you were loyal to your alliances, and now it's like building your roster and who's gonna like cheat who first, and that just doesn't sit right with me. But I would be quick to make an alliance, and I think that probably my downfall was I would be a little hesitant to abandon them.
Well, now that we've thrown them off the trail with all of this strategy that we've put out there, maybe she will, maybe she won't. What would you have to say to someone that's in the middle of a transition that maybe wants to move to a new city, new place, new portion of their career? What would you want to say to them in that moment of transition and unknown?
Go for it. What else are you going to do? Just do it. I was 30. Like I felt like an old hag moving to Los Angeles for the first time. I'm like, this is something you do when you're 20, but just do it. It's fine. It's scary. There are moments that you are like, what did I do? Like my life was fine. But it's so worth it. And you just have to, every time that I've made one of these transitions, I've just had to have a talk with myself and like really think and say like, do I trust myself to get through this? And the answer is yes.
Where does that come from for you? Is it something that you innately have always had, or did you build it?
I think I built it. I think it comes with age and, you know, letting fear stop me from doing things for a long time. Obviously, I stayed in my hometown for 30 years. And so I eventually just had to like, you know, I was contemplating so much, like, should I do this? Should I not? Is it too late? Like, am I going to lose everything? Am I going to build a clientele again? Am I good enough to do hair in LA? I've only done it in this small town. Like, I think I'm good, but maybe I'm not once I get around everyone. And so you just have to quiet yourself and ask yourself, like, do you really believe that? Do you trust that you will be able to do what it takes to make it work?
Now, I always ask 2 questions to end the episodes. And the first one is, what does beauty mean to you?
Beauty to me means knowing yourself, feeling confident, knowing what you want, whether that's what you want to look like, how you want to present yourself. You know, beauty is so much more than the physical. I think it's like how you present yourself to the world.
And if you could go back to Kailey living in Florida before the year 30, what would you tell her?
It all works out. It's all fine. Like, don't be scared. Be nice to your mom. I know you're working next to her every single day. And just be nice to her. She loves you.
Oh, girl. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on the show today. It was an absolute pleasure to have you. I always laugh more with you than I do with most people. It's my favorite.
I have a great time.
I really love it. Where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on mostly Instagram at Kailey Styles with 2 Z's.
And you can find us, beauty_ritual on Instagram, the Beauty Ritual podcast on TikTok and Spotify, as well as Apple and all of your podcast streaming services. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. It helps us grow and reach more of you with some of these wonderful stories from the beauty industry. I will see you next time.